What's shakin'? Hey, I'm Rick Jordan. Today, we're going all in. There's 4 truths that I'm going to give you today that are going to completely change your life. Get you out of this position of being stuck, get you moving forward, probably help you bring closure to some scenarios that were in your life, and just get you out of your own head. So if that's something that sounds like you, even if it's not, I know right today there will be moments in your life to where some of these things will hit home. So stick with me, listen to everything I've got to say today, and just watch this amazing weight be lifted off you today. I'm excited for this because these are some things that I've noticed in my life that have tremendously helped me, and it's 4 truths. Some of them can be a little harsh and a little direct, but they're real and they're here to keep you moving. The first one is I learned this. Some of this was like with haters a long time ago, and I just did an episode around haters and compassion. But the realization that actually helped me come to a moment of compassion with haters is that this first truth here is not everyone wants to get better. And it's sad, it sucks, especially when you're an empathetic person like me or an empathic person like me, is I almost like feel other people. Like I feel their hurts. I feel that they're stuck. And I just want so badly, because it's like bringing truth to the world is one of my biggest purposes and one of my biggest whys, that I just want to be like, hey, it's right here, and like slap them upside the head, literally like physically turn them around to go in a different direction. But you can't do that. Almost nobody is able to manipulate people in that way, even with the best intentions. People have to want to do something with the truth that is staring them in the face. And those that don't want to do something decide to just turn their eyes to it, put on blinders, a blindfold, even though it's staring them right in the face. They still ignore it. And the reason is, this first truth is that not everyone wants to get better. Why is it? It takes effort. It takes energy. It takes going into unfamiliar territory, because you have to get uncomfortable, and you actually have to take a hard look at yourself, which makes you uncomfortable as far as what you might be doing to screw your life up, or what you're doing to other people in that moment, making them feel crazy, stupid crap, right? That's the hardest thing to do. So it's a lot easier to just not make a change. It's a lot easier to just brush aside a desire to get better, because of all the work that has to be put into it. So the first truth is not everyone wants to get better. And I'll add this tail onto it too. Not everyone wants to get better right now. It could be at some point in the future that they'll want to be. That could be 5 years down the road. That could be 15 years down the road. It could be 27 years down the road that they finally decide that they want to get better. And that's up to them to grapple with, not you. It sucks, especially when you're a compassionate human being, which I think a lot of people that listen to this show are, because you want to get better. That's why you listen to the show, right? Is because you want to get better. You're the people that want to get better. But people around you, a lot of them, harsh truth, not everyone wants to get better. And that's okay. So keep doing what you're doing, and let that bring you some closure to whatever it is that you've gone through or you're going through, because it's a truth to let sink into your heart right now. Because it's your choice to have that not affect you anymore. That whoever it is that's around you, maybe even super close to you, wants to get better. They might not want to get better. That's okay, because it's not going to hold you back anymore. Right? The second one is that as you're looking at this, right, maybe somebody says they want to or whatever. Words are actually pretty hollow, unless they're followed with action or behavior, because behavior and action are really the only 2 true communicators. This doesn't mean that words don't hurt, because words do hurt very, very much. Words can also, just as much as they hurt, they can bring hope. Words can hurt and they can bring hope. But after that, regardless of what it is, even if it's in the moment and somebody says something that hurts you deeply, you can start to look at their actions and their behavior after that. If they apologize and they shift, that hurt will most definitely heal. If someone brings you hope with the words that they're saying, take a look at their behaviors and actions after that to see if they line up with what they say, because that's the true communicator. They might, if you hang on those words of hope for too long, this is like a time-based thing, and give yourself a time frame, right? If you hang on those words of hope, that behavior and those actions are the true communicator that will show you, right? And then it's awesome because then you can be like, oh man, my hope is justified. That's cool. Or you can say, man, you know what? Not really following through. They say that they want to, but maybe they really don't want to change or whatever it is, because the actions and the behaviors after the fact are communicating very differently, regardless of whatever direction somebody chooses to go and what actions they take or inaction, because inaction is still a choice to take no action. Did you hear that? Inaction is still a choice to take no action. Not changing is still a choice to actually not want to change. So that's the decision that's being made. So words are hollow, behavior is the true communicator. That's number 2. Here's something for you, not other people, because you might have something going on in your life. A lot of us do, right? At any given moment, there's something that's just funky and that we wish wasn't going on, or maybe something that is going on, right? That we don't want it to. And venting about something that's happened or that is happening is good as a release. It very much is. And you find somebody who can hold that space for you in order to get it off your chest. And sometimes you're like, man, that feels so good. I was just able to release that in the moments. But that's the key that leads into number 3 right here. Because number 3 is chronic venting keeps you stuck in cycles. Chronic venting keeps us stuck in cycles. It keeps bringing us back to those stuff. So as you continue to complain about a situation, or you continue to complain about an individual, you are the one that I'm talking about in number 1, to where you really don't want to get better. Because if you remember, I was talking about like that, it can be a release, a good, healthy release event. But that's what it actually means, is to release it, meaning you are not holding it, harboring it anymore. So if you use venting as a tool with somebody who's willing to hold that space for you, and then that's it. You released it. It's gone out of your sphere, out of your mind, out of your soul. You've released it in that moment, because if you just vent and then you go back and you vent about it again to somebody else, or you go back and vent about it again 5 more times to the same person, about the same person or about the same situation, that keeps you stuck in your cycle. End of story. The third harsh truth today is chronic venting keeps us stuck in our cycles. So use venting as a tool with somebody who is willing to hold the space for you as a true and very real release. That's the healthy way to use that. The last one I have, number 4 for you today, is blaming others only serves your ego. It may very well be that it's the other person's fault. They did something to you, made you feel something bad, or did something right that wasn't your fault, that maybe didn't affect you at all, right? But blaming other people only serves your ego and blocks you from creating the life that you want. If you're blaming someone else for the situation that you're in right now, maybe they got you to that point, right? But blaming them for what you still are in is only serving your own ego. And this is what we call playing a victim. Yes, ego is directly tied to being a victim because it's all about you. That's what you're making this right now, is that scenario, that person, whatever, it becomes all about you. That's not cool. And it's keeping you away. It is blocking you from creating the life that you want, creating the life that you actually choose. You're giving power away to the other person and making yourself a victim for the purpose of your own ego. That's number 4, is blaming others only serves your ego. So how do you break out of that? This is the harsh truth, is you make a choice. You do something different. Instead of blaming that person, choose to change whatever it is that you have the power over, that you take back that power. And you are no longer a victim when you take action, when you change behaviors. You are no longer a victim. This should hit hard today, because these are things that will change your life. Go back and listen to this again and again, at least 3 more times, for these 4 truths that will completely give you a shift in the next coming days. Go all in.